Thank you for staying with us. It is still Flow 94.9 FM, the Flow of God's own state. And it is the platform, the pinnacle of all discussions. My name is Wisdom Thomas. I'll be your guide on this journey this morning. Now, not too long ago, I think precisely on the 12th of October 2022, the Coalition of United Political Parties, CUPP, raised the alarm over an alleged plot to truncate the 2023 election process while addressing a joint news conference. CUPP spokesperson being Ikenga Ogochinye had this to say.
Of Nigerian political parties, opposition coalition CUPP, and heads of political associations have intercepted intelligence of an alleged fresh plot against the 2023 general election, and this time being coordinated by leading figures of the ruling APC governors, led by a Southeast APC governor with controversial past and another from the Northwest, who are working with their colleagues to perfect a plot to intimidate Inec leadership into abandoning the use of electronic transmission and upload of election results to the Inec server, deactivation of the Bvas machine from Inec server, and the creation of crisis of confidence based on trump-up charges that will lead to the removal of top officials of the Electoral Commission, including the Inec chairman, Professor Mahmoud, and other national commissioners.
Oh yeah, that was Ikenga Ogochinye alleging that something was going on behind the scene. However, the APC Presidential Campaign Council denied this. This was their own statement.
I mean, absolutely no occasion where the APC, either by the NWC or any of its levels of leadership, put any kind of pressure on INEC. It is those who are sensing defeat are already looking for reasons for that defeat. But I can tell you that it is one of the reasons, it is one of the excuses they are trying to generate to accommodate their defeats, but they know their defeat.
Now, just last week, not too long ago anyway, the CUPP have equally raised another alarm. This one, they are saying there are fictitious names in the voter register. And of course, most recently, the APC national chairman raised a doubt over the usage of the Bvas as the election continues to draw near. Expectedly, APC Publicity Secretary has equally responded, saying that the APC chieftain has been quoted out of context. Could there be a smoke? And if there is a smoke, who could be behind this very smoke? That will form the fulcrum of our discussion on the platform this morning. I wouldn't let out the cat just yet out of the bag until we make a return after this very short break. You will meet my guest. Stay with us. Thank you for staying with us. It is still the platform, the pinnacle of all discussions here on Flow 94.9 FM, the Flow of God's own state. My name is Wisdom Thomas. Having laid down the marker via my intro, I think that gives us a little bit of information on what the journey this morning is all about. And of course, I have Jim Rebecca, Head of Voter Education and Publicity, Inec, here in Abia State. She joins us virtually. Good morning to you, Ma. Thank you for joining the conversation.
Good morning, dear.
Okay, let's get into the conversation right away. I'm sure you've been following proceedings in terms of how things are panning out across campaign grounds, which is part of your duty. However, let's focus on Bvas now. It has been dubbed as the game changer, and a lot of persons are inquisitive, curious to say the least. They want to know how Bvas actually works. How does it work?
Oh, good morning. Well, Bvas is a major breakthrough in the innovations by the Commission to enhance the integrity of the electoral process and ensure that election results reflect the will of Nigerians. By the actual full meaning is bimodal voter accreditation system. And by the name BI means it performs two major functions. The first function is it is used to accredit voters. And during accreditation, the Bvas captures either your fingerprints or your photo. So if you don't have fingerprints, you must have a face. And within 2 minutes, as far as you present yourself to the pool official for voting on election day with your PVC, within 2 minutes, you are accredited to vote. The accreditation period or when doing accreditation, the Bvas works whether with or without network. So you will be accredited within 2 minutes. And you proceed to vote.
Sorry to interject. You are saying that during accreditation, there is no need for network. That happens seamlessly.
Yes, the network does not affect accreditation.
Okay, go ahead.
Some people are alleging that if there are no network, that it will affect accreditation. But it does not affect the Bvas during accreditation. So whether you have network or not, the accreditation will go through.
Now, how about cases of power failure, theft, or like you mentioned, network wouldn't be a problem? I don't know if that's only unique to accreditation. How about voting?
I'm coming. You know, after accreditation now, you go and cast your vote. And then the Bvas again will be used to transmit results to the Inec result viewing portal, IRES, after election. Remember, after people must have completed voting, the presiding officer sorts, counts, and records the results in from ECHA, ECHA1, ECHA2, depending on the election. But the basic result is from ECHA, where the polling unit results will be recorded. After recording the polling unit results from ECHA, the presiding officer proceeds to transmit the results there and then with the Bvas. He will use the Bvas to capture the from ECHA. That will snap it, and as soon as you finish snapping, it goes straight to the Inec results viewing portal. But this time around, it needs network. So for it to transmit results, it needs network. And the commission has gone ahead to ask the electoral officer to visit all the polling units in the local government and get the network that works there. Because there must be a network. If it is not Glo, it's MTN or 9 Mobile or Airtel. One must work there. And the commission will use the network that works at any polling unit to upload the Bvas so that it will transmit the results. And voters of polling agents are advised to ensure that the presiding officer transmits the results before leaving the polling unit. But in any case, if at all there is no network in that polling unit to transmit the results, they will all accompany the presiding officer to the collection center where the results will be collected. And basically, there must be a network there. So before he hands over the results to the collection officer, he must transmit the results real time.
Okay.
So this is real something, and it has come to stay, because the commission wants the election process to be acceptable by Nigerians, to be transparent, credible, and accepted by the generality of Nigerians.
Now, let's talk about the authenticity or perhaps the structure of the Bvas. Now, there's been concerns over, since it's an electronic machine whatsoever, where we know garbage in, garbage out, and we know there are cases whereby a system of this capacity could be hacked. Are there stronger measures put in place by Inec to ensure that the malware and every other thing that forms security around it cannot be interfered or compromised from within or even outside?
For the Bvas out now, there is no way you can tamper with it. It has been tested, approved. You cannot tamper with the Bvas.
Okay. Now, you equally mentioned that polling agents and election, I don't know how you put it, but then in different of electoral polling units have been told to check out the network which works best in those areas. How far has it gone to at this very moment? Has there been tremendous progress?
Yes. Those things have been submitted to the commission. the EOs have submitted the network that works at every polling unit to the commission, so that the Bvas that will be sent to your polling unit, we have the network that works there. Well, the commission is making everything humanly possible to make sure that this process goes freely, transparently, and credible.
Okay, now it seems as though this innovation, like you pointed out when you started talking this morning, is not sitting down well with some politicians. They are seeming scared of the amazingness and perhaps the watershed this can have on our electoral process going forward. So it leaves me asking, what is scary about the usage of Bvas come 2023 that some politicians are jittery about it?
Well, with Bvas, rigging is gone. There is nothing like rigging again. You cannot rig.
You sound quite optimistic.
Yes, very optimistic. With Bvas, rigging is gone. So politicians advise to go out, campaign, and convince the electors to vote for them, because that's the only way you can make it now.
Interesting. Let me sincerely appreciate you for coming on the platform this morning, clearing the air, and of course ensuring Abians that a lot is being done by the Independent National Electoral Commission to provide an election which will be credible come 2023, because the electorates are watching keenly.
Yes, I am assuring Abians that they should go out, collect their PVCs, present themselves and vote on election day, and wherever they voted for will be the one that will win the election. So the people's vote will count, and it will continue to count. The election result will reflect the will of the people.
Okay.
So let them go out there, collect their PVC, and make themselves available on election day.
Okay, I want to let you go now, but finally let me ask, in terms of response of the electorates in picking their permanent voter card, has it been on the high side? Has there been reluctance on the part of the electorate, and is there anything Inec is doing to ensure that the electorates get their PVCs, which of course will be very important going into the elections?
Well, you know that the collection of PVCs is an ongoing process, and people are coming. They are coming gradually. And as soon as the ones we're expecting now, the PVCs we're expecting, as soon as we take delivery of it, we go closer to the people so that everybody will get his or her PVC.
Let me sincerely at this very point appreciate you, Jim Rebecca, Head of Voter Education and Publicity, the Independent National Electoral Commission here in Abia State. Thank you very much for speaking to us on the platform.
God bless you.
Continue to do what you're doing, and God bless you as well.
Goodbye.
All right. You've had it from one of the call our stakeholders. As long as Inec is concerned in the state, I don't think it's out of place. So we're going to a very short break. When we make a return, we will switch gears and we'll be speaking to another guest of mine on the platform this morning. We would have to see things from his perspective and look at what he feels in tandem with the back and forth that is relating to the usage of the Bvas. Like I stated, some politicians are jittery about it. They feel something different is about to happen, and so we'll find out what could have been raising these doubts on their mind and more. Just stay with us. If you're just tuning in, it's okay. You're absolutely not behind time. We have a couple of miles still ahead of us on the platform, the pinnacle of all discussions. This Friday morning. My name is Wisdom Thomas. Well, we've been looking at the back and forth as it has to do with the Bvas, how strategic a point it's going to prove come the elections next year. And of course, where Inec stands in all of this, how crucial the Bvas will be when the election gets underway. And of course, we've heard from a stakeholder of the Inec in the state, Jim Rebecca, talking to us about how prepared Inec is. On the other hand, we'll be speaking to Mr. Richard Okoro, who is a transition monitoring group. I think he's the leader of the transition monitoring group, an election observer of many years, a public affairs commentator commentator, and he joins us virtually. Good morning to you, sir. Thank you for joining the platform this morning.
Good morning.
It's good to have you, by the way.
Okay, thank you, my brother.
All right, let's get into the conversation. I'm sure you've been trailing the developments around the election, from Inec to political parties to campaigns, and how everything is panning out. But then what is key, what is catching our eye at this moment is the said back and forth of the Bvas. We had the APC chieftain talking about the APC national chairman, Senator Abdullahi Adamu, saying he has doubt over the usage of Bvas, where he mentioned network inconsistency, power outage, and all that as bottlenecks to the usage of Bvas come 2023. He equally said that he doesn't really think we have gotten to the point whereby these technologies can form a crucial or an important part of an election process. I don't know, what is your assessment of all this? And putting in mind as well that of the CUPP, who has come out to say that there is a smoke somewhere, and it has to do with moves to jettisoning the Inec chairman. On the other hand, different names popping up on the voter registration list and all that.
Like I always say, 2023 is going to be a turning point for Nigerians. Especially for
you believe that?
Yes, I believe that, because everybody is keen in seeing Nigeria move to the next level. The EU is watching, the American government is watching, every Nigerian youth is watching. Even those that I know that have not voted in the elections before are keen to see how 2023 elections comes and go. For the APC chairman, for me, I wasn't really expecting him to, for something like that to come from him, but then it raises an eyebrow on the suspicions that Nigerians are having, believing that the election may be heading towards the rocks because APC for the first time is scared. APC for the first time is very scared of what is happening. You and I know that there has been mock survey from different organizations concerning the 2023 elections, and there is a very big fear from the two big parties we have in Nigeria, that is PDP and APC. So for the emergence of Labour Party, for instance, which came from nowhere, is a very big concern. Now, if the APC chairman is having fears that Nigeria has not gotten to the stage, then it is very, very unfortunate, because these are people that keep using this obnoxious excuse that Nigeria is still in a nascent democracy. So how long do we keep being nascent? That means we continue being Obi is a boy, and we continue being Obi that does not grow to become a man. So it is like speaking from both sides of the mouth, because we know that the president of Nigeria, who is the leader, who is the overall leader of that political party, has been assuring Nigerians that he's going to conduct a free and credible elections, and the taxpayers' money has been used over these years to enhance the performances of Inec to ensure this credible election is conducted. So for the APC chairman to come at this 11th hour to raise casts and doubt about the competence of the Bvas machine is really unfortunate, my brother.
Okay, he says it has been unfortunate. I know you've touched on it in patches. I'm talking about the scare across political front now, given the fact that, like you mentioned, the emergence of a third force. On the other hand, the deployment of the Bvas now, which for many, they feel it's going to be a watershed in our election process going forward.
Hello, are you there?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, your line is cutting onto a point. Can you come back again?
Okay, I was asking, I said you've mentioned this, you've touched it in patches, the scare across political fronts now, whereby it seems they are having this doubt about their capability come the 2023 elections. Now, that is because the Bvas will be deployed. And I'm still asking, why do you feel that they are nervy and jittery about the usage of Bvas?
Yes, because this is the first time that we want to test run the end of box snatching. The era where ballot boxes are snatched, the era of stock being used are going to be over. And then if we're going to use the Bvas machine, means that we're going to see the true picture of what the Nigerian heart feels about their choice of candidates. So the issue of rigging through rewriting of electoral results, rigging through ballot boxing, mayhem of all sorts will be reduced. So if Nigerians are going to speak and their voice will be heard for the first time, why won't every Nigerian in his right senses support this noble idea and then see how far we can go with it?
Now, you mentioned test run, and that's a concern for me and perhaps for some persons who will be thinking this very election come 2023 is too big for a test run. It should be something that would have been proven.
They've used that in 2 states. That is a test run.
Those were good elections when they.
Yes. Now, how do you improve on a system? For instance, we have vehicles. Let's use the Mercedes series, for instance. You have the V-boot. Then after the V-boot, there was an improvement on the body and the machine and the engine of that V-boot, and it came to C-class. From C-class, we're now coming to all models of Mercedes-Benz and the G-Wagon model and all that. That is improvement. Now, do we be afraid of trying something out, or do we remain as Obi is a boy for getting to 60 years of independence? The answer is no. Even if you look at advanced countries like America and the UK, they still improve on the system that they have. So why are we afraid of improvement? Why are we afraid of technology? Whereas we are buying the best cars, we are buying the best phones, we are buying the best computers, and then we cannot buy the best machines for our elections. Considering the amount of millions of naira taxpayers' money that is being given to Inec to conduct these elections.
Now let's talk about one of the allegations or fears raised by the CUPP, which included the removal of the Inec chairman, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu. If this eventually sees the light of the day, would it be an upheaval to this very process, given that he's been the one chairmaning all these moves or chiefing it? On the other hand, concerns about it being electronic now, whereby we know that systems could be compromised. Do you feel that Inec has taken this very system up a notch to the point where compromise becomes inevitable or perhaps avoidable?
Okay, now let's look at what happened in the last election of Goodluck Jonathan and President Muhammadu Buhari. We went for the Senate election and we began to see that the machines were no longer functioning. And then the question came, were these machines not test run? But INEC keep telling us that they are prepared and ready for elections of 2015. So the issue is, the manufacturing companies that produce the Bvas machine, what guarantee did they give? Because it's still the same machines that other countries use. So the issue of Nigeria, when it comes to Nigeria, it becomes a K-leg issue. Is what is making us some people to be worrisome. So why should a machine of all sorts failed President Goodluck Jonathan from voting, and some other key prominent persons who were disappointed with the machine of that 2015 election? So if INEC is sincere, what we're saying is, give these machines to competent companies in abroad who will deliver machines that will not malfunction on the D-Day of election. Then if INEC is sincere, like we all know that when the head goes wrong, something goes wrong with the head is responsible. So Mahmoud should be held responsible if the election fails, because so much has been given to INEC to prepare them.
Now, don't you think this is part of the fears of Senator Abdullahi Adamu when he says he feels we are not just there in order to implement some of these high tech in our elections, so to say?
No, there are things that Adamu has done that has made people to begin to suspect him. You know, recently he changed the person that was in charge of ICT of Inec and redeployed him to Enugu State. We have records of that. We also have where he made statement that the PVCs has been destroyed in the fire outbreak in Ibadan also within the last 2 weeks or thereabout. There is a viral video that is going on that says that there are no damaged PVC cards. So such comments from the INEC chairman is beginning to make people to look at him twice. And then the issue of trust is this is the time that he has to prove himself. Other people have been there. That's why we keep talking about Humphrey Wosu, because the antecedents of June 12th and all that is still resounding in our minds. So if he's credible, history will remember him. And if he's dishonest, history will also remember him. But I don't think he will like history to remember his name in a bad way.
Now, you've mentioned the key point. You mentioned the issue of trust. Perhaps before I go to that, a lot of persons will be saying how independent is INEC, even though there is independent National Electoral Commission, so to say, in their nomenclature. But let's talk about the impact of this fiasco, the accusation and counter-accusation on the electorate. We must have to agree that given the signing of the electoral amendment into law, which of course throws up the use of the Bvas transmission, electronic transmission and all that, there's been this sense of a new lease of life amongst electorates. We must agree that at some point electorates have been undergoing or facing electoral apathy, where they feel that it is not necessary to even go to the poll. Now, giving this very signing into law of the electoral amendment, there's been a huge lift. The participation is gathering momentum. Don't you think this back and forth could affect or derail things?
That is why I said the international community is watching. The civil society groups are watching closely. Even the what do you call it? Those people that you mentioned that are very critical, those that have been apathy in going for voting, this is the first time they are coming up. And that is the more reason why the pressure will keep on mounting on the INEC chairman to do the needful, because all eyes are on him. So that is why he cannot fail Nigerians. He cannot.
Well, we hope that will be the case going forward. And then, I don't know if there is anything at all you think the INEC should do, perhaps to ensure that they come up trumps come 2023. It's less than 3 months or even more to the elections.
I said it last time I was with Ginika Olo. One of the things that INEC fails to do, and that is what is also about to happen now, is starting the voter education very late. They are supposed to work with the civil society organizations. Funds have been made available for the civil societies to work with INEC, but they keep holding it. They will go and call NOAA and say they are working with NOAA. That is not true. We should by now be going to house by house, churches by churches, educating those people that cannot see clearly or who are illiterate, who cannot understand the voting pattern or the ballot boxes. There are new political parties now. A lot of these people at the rural areas do not know these political parties or know the umbrellas. Like I said, a huge amount of money has been voted in INEC for the civil societies to use and do this campaign in personal sensitization. But they'll hold the money until the 11th minute, and then they'll bring out a total and say, use 1 week and do campaign house to house. It doesn't help until we continue to reduce the number of invalid votes, which are caused by human error. Then we'll still be having a lot of people who turn out en masse to vote, and at the end of the day, their voters will not be counted. Their voters will not make any difference. It is painful, because people come out, stay under the sun, wait for the materials to come, which normally comes late. That is another area INEC has to improve on. They have to find a way to make sure that materials get to the polling booths early enough. And if they say collection centers are the world collection centers, let it remain there. I know the incident that happened in East Alangba, Ward 5, in the last election. Collection was supposed to be done at Obaba polling booth, but it was not done there. It was not done until it become a problem. The supporters of the two parties started a fight, and the collection was finally done at Umumpe. So why should they keep moving collection centers? So these are issues from the past that they have to look in and make corrections and ensure that people don't need to stress themselves unnecessarily. We know where the collection centers are. Don't move them at the last minute. Then provide the materials early enough for voters to vote and then be satisfied that the right thing has been done.
Interesting. I mean, too much is given, much is expected. The onus is on Inec, led by Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, to ensure that he steers the country on the right path come 2023. And in football, we say no margin for error. Nigerians may not accept anything more than credible election. At this very point, I've been speaking with Mr. Richard Okoro, who is an election observer for many years down the line. You can possibly see that echo from his sentiments and his words of expertise, basically a public affairs commentator on the platform this morning. And I think at this moment we have to hand the microphone over to you. Let us feel your pulse, especially in tandem with what we have already discussed on the program. We wouldn't want you to derail or to cast aspersions or even do name calling. This is basically a topic of huge discourse, and we want you to react to it appropriately and in the right sense. Call us 0808-1826-949 or 0811-6052-949. We are live from Facebook in case that's what you prefer. Go to Facebook, facebook.com/Flow949FM. Drop your comments there. We will take it perhaps at the back end of the program. I urge you, Mr. Richard, to stay on the line so that possibly there are questions or even things you can react to as we take the reactions of our listeners.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Let's take this very call. Good morning.
Good morning, Wisdom.
It's good to have you join the conversation this Friday morning. May we meet you?
Thank you. Happy weekend, my brother.
All the best.
I remember Mr. Prince Weluswagu from here in Omonachobo. Wisdom, my thanks goes to the HOD, Education and Information of Inec Abia State, in the name of Dr. Rebecca Jim. She has completely explained what people are expecting to hear from Inec. She has clearly told us actually the work of Bvas and the usefulness of Bvas in the forthcoming election. Please, if the truth is to be told, it is not left for the federal government. You don't need to give Inec job and still monitor them. Don't give them what they want to do. Give them what to do and give them the dependency. Let them do what they have to do. They know the rightful way to do the election and give them a free hand. Please, never you mortgage them on their activities. That is what I want to say about the federal government. Finally, to the people, us. Let us give them cooperation. They will do the election free, fair, credible, and acceptable. That is my team. May God bless all of us in the studio.
Thank you very much for your take this morning. Continue to put the calls to the number 0808-1826-949 or 0811-6052-949. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, sir.
Thank you for joining the conversation. Name and location.
Yeah, I'm Blaise Abule. I'm the coordinator of Data Youth Multipurpose Cooperative Society. I'm calling you right now from Edinburgh. My take on the topic of discussion is this. INEC. How many times did I call you people? Nigerians will hold you responsible if you fail to do the right thing for us. INEC has been a problem in this country. INEC and the judiciary has been our problem. We the youth, we have done NSAS. If at the end of 2023 election is not done credibly and acceptable by all Nigerians, we will do an INEC.
It's okay. Hey, it's okay. Thank you for your take this morning. Like I said, I urge you to be tempered with your words. There's no need to hit up the polity or even go rogue. Just keep your words simple. Good morning.
Hello, Wizzy. Good morning. How are you?
I'm okay. Pastor Ifeanyi Emmanuel, go ahead. Tell us your name and location still.
Yeah, my name is Pastor Ifeanyi Emmanuel. I'm calling from Bvas Mama in Isialangwa North. You see, the Bvas is a good innovation into the electoral system. And I think if it is properly used, properly put into use, it will go a long way to, curbing the issue of electoral malpractices. I want to speak on the issue of PVC. Up to now, some of us have not gotten our PVCs. Some of us revalidated, they call it replacement. We are yet to get them. But there are these promises by Inec that by next month they will be ready. We have been hoping, promises upon promises. They will promise you this month. They will promise you next month. We don't really know what is
Wrap
coming.
up your thoughts now, Pastor Ifeanyi Manu.
But what I'm wrapping up is that they should ensure that...
I lost him there. Not my doing. Let's take more calls. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for joining us. Name and location.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
My name is Paul Maika from Obakala. I only want to ask a question. Assuming somebody decides to avoid facial accreditation and then decides to go on with the thumbprint, is it not possible for one to thumbprint, accredit himself more than once with thumbprint?
Okay, thank you very much for your question. How I wish the INEC personnel was still on the line to prefer answer to this very one. Let's continue to take your reactions. Good morning. I'll ask that 1080818264949 or 08116052949. Good morning.
Good morning.
Name and location.
Ikechukwu, calling from Mumbai. You see, this Bvas Inec want to do now is very good, but in the interior part of the north, like in most cases, the accredited machine will fail to accept or validate the PVC. Then Jega will say, if we watch 2015 election precisely in the north, the guy will give directives that where the accreditation machine fail, they should issue the eligible voter a manual thumbprint. That is the voters the slip. That is where things will start going wrong. Most of these directives, they are doing it to withdraw the southern part because they know that we too like to follow process. Where there is in the north.
Okay.
Wrap up your thoughts now. They will claim that the sub machine are failed. Let them use a manual. Then they will all underage voters will line up like fans.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So we can take more calls. Thank you. I think we've had your own comment. Morning. Thank you for joining the conversation.
Thank you, my brother. Good morning.
Go ahead. Your name and location.
I am Mr. Bancha from Akaniton. There's someone who called and said that he don't have BVC. We don't want to hear you don't have BVC. We are very serious. You don't have BVC, then you are disturbing us on radio. Go and get your PVC. Let us be prepared. I am okay, sir.
Thank you very much. Let me come back to you now, Mr. Richard. While I was speaking with the INEC personnel, I asked a question of compromise. How strong is the system in terms of collation of votes transmitted electronically? Because we know that it's a system, it is transmitted electronically, and we have cases where things are hacked or perhaps meddled with. How strong is their malware, their defense system to perhaps resist such when it happens? And she assured that they have a strong system, it's not compromisable and all that. I don't know, what is your take in this very aspect?
I know there are communities where networks are very difficult to get. Now, the issue is how, what kind of equipment did they buy? I know that some phones like Turaya can get signal in any part of the world, wherever you are, even in the middle of the desert. So that is what we are saying. Because we know that if the network system in Nigeria is so poor that in most communities, rural areas, there are no networks. So I wish the INEC would have told us the kind of quality of equipment they bought in terms of transmitting and moving of information, that's data, to their server. And then the server also, we know that in this world, there are professional hackers.
Oh, yeah.
But we don't think that they remember Nigeria anyway. But then it is also the duty of INEC to keep on telling us who is managing their server. Is it the United States or is it the Russia or whatever? So these are the things of quality assurances that they keep repeating over and over to assure Nigerians that nothing will go wrong with the election. These are the kind of things a lot of people want to hear. Because like Iguana, there are places you enter in Iguana, you won't get signal. And that's the truth. The same thing with some other parts of Abia State. So we know the place, we know the terrain, we know the topography. We know that networks do not cover everywhere. So that is what INEC should be re-emphasizing and reassuring us that they have a system that will not have network issue in connecting to their server. Then people will be assured and they know that whatever effort they make that day, whatever sacrifice they make that day, because people come early, they don't eat. I've witnessed elections since 1999, and I can tell you what people go through. There are no waters to drink, they stand still, passionately waiting to vote for their candidate. So if people could come out, and then that's why some people are feeling that all these days, what we've done, what do we get, where are we, what have we gotten? They keep rewriting results. But because of the Bvas is coming up now, people are now saying, okay, let me give one more shot. And that is why we must not fail.
Okay, let's take your comments on Facebook. I'm going to return to Mr. Richard once again, but then this one is coming from Ezeka Elvis. It says, I'm using this great platform to urge all well-meaning and patriotic Abians to get their respective PVC so we can rescue the state from the grip of visionless and unpatriotic leaders. Let's get it right come 2023. God bless us all. Much love for FM. One more call or two and we call it a wrap and we get... Hello? Morning to you. Good to have you join the conversation. May we meet you?
My name is Ekbo Kamal. I'm calling from Federal Action in Abia State.
Go right up.
Yes. The issue is that about INEC, I think that INEC is going in the right direction to get it right this time around. If federal government led by Muhammad Buhari can give INEC the total support they have been giving them. Remember that before Muhammad Buhari emerged as a president of this country, he has lost so many elections by rigging. The best thing he can do for this Nigeria with the hardship that he has unleashed on this, with the people of this country, is to make sure that we have a credible election this 2023.
Thank you.
I think if you done that, his name will be right on the good.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for making a point. Sorry to let you go, but time isn't our friend at this moment. So just in 30 seconds, Mr. Richard, what are your final words basically to electorates now who are still feeling skeptical about the elections come 2023, not gotten their PVC just yet, feeling it's going to be same song, same chorus, same direction? What do you have to say to them as we wrap up the program? 30 seconds, sir.
Yes, they need to keep pushing and pushing. I was somewhere in Adelabu, primary health care to be precise, and I saw some people who were pushing the gates, to have access to the INEC office in that Adelabu and all that. So a lot of people don't even know where to go get their PVC. I think they should start from their local government. INEC has offices in all the LOGAs. Go to your LOGA, ask for INEC office, get the right information to know where you're supposed to be and at the right time. Some people don't even know they're pulling boots. So until you get, the last call I just made a chipped in, make a concerted effort, find out where your PVC is, collect it, and then be prepared to know where to go to on that day. Because most people
Thank
know
you.
that their vote has been moved.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Richard Okoro of the Transition Monitoring Group. Of course, he has observed elections, like you had him say, since 1999. It's a long time coming, isn't it? He's, of course, a public affairs commentator, and he graced the platform this morning. Thank you very much for adding quality to the program this morning, sir.
Thank you very much.
The Inec personnel, head of voter education and publicity here in Abia State, Jim Rebecca, and of course to my producer, Mr. Samson Eze. Thank you very much, Adeze, and the guys behind the visuals, Stanko and Nedu. My name is Wisdom Thomas. The platform will make a return, same time, same station next week. But of course, before then on Monday, do have a lovely Friday ahead and continue to listen to Flow 94.9 FM. Get your PVC. Bye-bye for now.